सचमुच लाइट गई थी. We are saying Pune का population बढ़ रहा है. Do you know that Pune's population 40% of it at least is slum population. गवर्नमेंट बाहर एक घंटा गाड़ी लेके बाहर ऐसे हर रात को कचरा फेंकते ऐसे नहीं जाते ना. कचरा कौन करता है? हम करते हैं. और गवर्नमेंट वो माँ है तो दे मेंशन कि हम घर तक बस शटल देंगे. लाइक प्लीज घर तक बस शटल मत दो यार, हमारे गली में वो बस नहीं बिठेगी. सी इन इंडिया वी हैव अ वेरी नाइस सिस्टम एक्चुअली. The problem is people don't follow it. एकामेका सहाय्य करू अवघे धरू सुपंथ. मेरे को ट्रम्प ने अच्छा लगता तो वो क्यों इलेक्ट हुआ अमेरिका में, that's not your concern, right? और दिल्ली में क्या हो रहा है, that's not my concern. My concern is कि मेरे मोहल्ले में क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है. Stop creating दरबार्स. तो कॉर्पोरेटर के साथ भी एक मच्योर अडल्ट जैसे बोलो. Don't do the whole माई बाप सरकार और हमारे यहाँ क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा.
मुन्ना भाई का जो है तुम क्या काम करता मकसूद भाई.
हाँ, exactly. Please go out and go around and see. Look at those beautiful ugly buildings all over the place. Ask yourself seriously, would you like to live in something like this? Not because it is tall, but because there are no trees around. There's no footpath. ये वो एक कचरा है. The only thing they can think of is increasing the density. Density does not mean development. Density means density. Packing more people into a smaller space. Thank you.
लास्ट एपिसोड में हम लोग सारे टॉपिक्स कवर नहीं कर पाए.
It is true. There was a reason.
Yes.
You know the reason.
Yes. लाइट गई थी.
Light gate.
And maybe that is the reason you were saying that this happens.
It happens, and this is the same issue of carrying capacity that we talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Continuing with the next question.
सचमुच light गई थी. So anyway,
With the ring road, metro, and the large-scale expansion, does Pune have a chance to course correct?
I think in fact having a metro is part of the course correction. Very frankly, we were pushing for we meaning basically we have a lot of connection. So as planners, ultimately you realize that you need to be in contact with citizens and you need to take their feedback for everything. Otherwise, your plans don't go that well because at the end of the day, you are planning for the citizen. The citizen is the end user. And so if you are designing a city or if you're planning a city, which is urban design, it's not urban design, but urban planning is part of that design process. And if you're designing a city and if the citizens are not taken into that design process, what they feel and, their needs, their felt needs, stuff like that, then you have big problems because then that city does not become usable. So in that sense, course correction wise, I think the metro is a course correction. First of all, I think it is much needed for any big city. I think any city above 5 million, you should be thinking of having a metro, maybe even 2 million. All the cities, see, this is a big thing. People here in India, they look at Europe and they look at these some of the Chinese cities, or they look at Southeast Asian and those cities, Japanese cities, and they say wow. And the only thing they attribute to that is कि उनके पास पैसा था and they can invest the money and अच्छी city बनती है. No, they have very good planners. They have very good. See, planners are not given access to that extent to actually plan cities currently, and I've mentioned that in the previous episode. And what happens is that as planners, we feel that when you bring in a participatory kind of an approach, you can really get what the end user wants. For instance, if you're running a restaurant, so to pizza pe, you will only add stuff that the end user wants. Na, nahi to bikega nahi. So in this case, we are not selling anything, but the problem is that we feel that sensitivity towards what the population needs is extremely important. So metro was part of that. It was sensitive to the population. We needed to move around. Pune has expanded a lot. Pune is a radial city. It spreads out. It's not like Mumbai, which is linear. So you have to move great distances. Traffic
not just metro, even the ring road.
Even the ring road, completely.
So my concern is, is there a chance of course correction, or we will be repeating the same mistake in a different way and on a larger scale?
I think very clearly there is a chance of course correction. Some of the elements that you need to keep in mind. One, again, as I said before, don't give that many building permissions. Please don't have this orgy of permissions. Okay, and it's, you can see it. Everybody, I mean, the audience for this also, please go out and go around and see. Look at those beautiful, ugly buildings all over the place. Ask yourself seriously, would you like to live in something like this? Not because it is tall, but because there are no trees around, there's no footpath, kachra hai. There are livable spaces, there are unlivable spaces. The problem is that a lot of us as consumers of houses are doing, like, we are okay with an okay place. And so I think this is a big problem. So I think, even I'll tell you one thing, my father was an architect, very well-known architect. So he worked with, he was, what do you call it? Like, his main job was to cater to real estate developers. That's how he made his money. So I completely support the real estate mechanism and the whole thing. But the thing is that even a real estate developer will ideally want to make an amazing building. In reality. Why? Uska naam badh jayega. Right? Not only will they get money out of it, but people will say, kya building hai bhai? Right? So, in that sense, I feel that this course correction, there is plenty of scope for course correction. Ring Road also ties up the city nicely together, brings everything together. And then I think all they have to do is they have to control the density. They have to say, nahi hum jane wale high rise. Kyun jana hai high rise? See, somebody told me, na Pune Metro Corridor TOD. Okay, TOD is transport-oriented development. So the idea is that along the main transport corridors, you want to develop the city. The only thing they can think of is increasing the density. Density does not mean development. Density means density, packing more people into a smaller space. So what is happening is that these transport-oriented development, I think it's become a misnomer. Like, yeah, you want to do transport-oriented development. Ring Road is transport-oriented. The metro system is transport-oriented. Having regulated rickshaw stands where the rickshawalas will follow the meter is a TOD. It's, in a way, it's TOD. So everything can be TOD. Example of metro corridor. They've given 4 FSI. Correct me if I'm wrong. Right? I think it's 500 meters on both sides of the metro. Right? 4 FSI. So we did some kind of rough back of the envelope calculation. Metro is how many kilometers long? One line. So say Ramwadi to Vanas.
The current metro line is around 31 kilometers in Pune.
So you're looking at
the entire expansion, it is going around a little above 90 kilometers.
Okay. So that is, okay, but we'll play with the 31.
Okay.
We'll call it 30 for easy mathematics. Okay. 30 kilometers into 1 kilometer. That is 30 square kilometers. 30 square kilometers ka 30% nikal do for roads and parks, ye wo. Okay, so that is 20 kilometers. Okay, 33% would, then it would be 20 kilometers, 66%. So say 20 square kilometers of construction into 4. You are talking about 80 square kilometers of construction. Okay, 80 square kilometers of construction is, I think 1 square kilometers are what, 100,000 square feet? 1 lakh square feet? How much is it? 1 lakh square meters, I think. Okay. I mean, just do the numbers. I mean, like, I would encourage the audience to, do the mathematics, multiply 20 square kilometers and convert that into how many square feet you're getting. Do we really need that? Is that what and okay, by the way, that is the other issue, which is the disparity. We are saying Pune ka population बढ़ रहा है. Do you know that Pune's population, 40% of it at least is slum population? These people unfortunately cannot afford all your big high-rise buildings and this and that. Right? So our question is that, are you building? So there were laws. I'm sure others have also mentioned this. So if they're not, like, there is something known as, so to go high-rise and to build big buildings, a lot of the real estate developers said कि हमें इतना सब काम करना पड़ता है. We have to put in so much energy. So we are taking a big risk. Please give us a tax holiday. So there is something known as 80IB 10, which is in the part of the Tax Act, which basically gives them a tax holiday on whatever money they make. Now, the idea or the quid pro quo for that tax holiday was that you will also build for low-income housing, right? Sadly, there's not going to be any low-income housing along the metro corridor. Okay, for those who are well off,
it
is unseemly enough. Nobody wants to have low income housing.
They have put a restriction also कि 65 square feet 65 meter के ऊपर का apartment नहीं बनेगा, which is under the TOD.
Correct. So it becomes more affordable. Maybe. That is the problem.
Maybe.
So
because anywhere metro corridor in Pune, 65 square meter is not below 1 crore.
Wahi.
Which is not affordable in Pune.
Which is not affordable even to most middle class people.
The average selling price of Pune is 75 lakhs.
Exactly. Okay, so that's one argument. So now, course correction. So one is, you can densify the metro corridor, but not to 4 FSI. That is my, what I would advise. My other piece of advice is keep the densities low around your ring road, because then you can give and do site and services, do proper TP schemes, that's town planning schemes, where you pool the land and then you redistribute it equally amongst plots, and then you give services, utilities. It's a nice way of planning, and they have the opportunity because TP schemes work perfectly for greenfield projects. Greenfield projects are those which have not been built upon already. They're empty land where you can do whatever you want. Okay, so I feel that can be done. The metro should be extended, in fact, and it should go right out to the ring roads. Something like Hinjawadi.
Hinjawadi phase 3 tak to hai, but I think it should go till Chakan, it should go till Ranjangaon.
Because you're connecting everything nicely. Right. The other thing is but then again you have this problem of how to access the metro, right? And there have been people who shall not be named who have even mentioned, I won't even mention where they're from. They're in the government, I will say that. I won't say from where, but they mentioned कि हम घर तक bus shuttle देंगे. Like, please घर तक bus shuttle मत दो यार, हमारे गली में वो bus नहीं बिठेगी. So
I am going to give you a poker face on this.
Yeah, give me a poker face. Okay, so see, the problem is nowhere else in the world is there a bus shuttle from the metro station to the houses. Nowhere. Right? If you find some place, please tell us, because then we'll try to copy their model and see how it's profitable or whatever. So the idea is that increase walkability. Right? Have more sensitivity to what citizens need. I had mentioned this earlier. Young children, persons with disabilities, and older people, senior citizens, they have to be able to get around safely. They have to get access to all the places they need to go to. And that will really enable Pune to become a more livable city. Measure the carrying capacity. How much water, we actually have an abundance of water, but how much food also comes in, because food prices start going up, stuff like that. Because your population is increasing, so you have high demand, and then your food prices will go up. There can be a scarcity of food also. The other part is that Eastern Pune is drought prone. Western Pune is rain shadow region, but it's mountainous. So each part has its own unique problems that need to be dealt with. Be sensitive to those.
What about South? The Kondwa and IBM?
That is not drought prone per se. If it goes to the east, it's not drought prone.
Okay.
So like Pune,
for a very long time, the entire Kondwa Mohammadwadi area was water scarce zone.
Konda Mohammadwadi is drought prone. It's east.
Okay. We in real estate we call it south. Southeast.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, no, if you took the river, if you took the Mutha river as your central line, everything on the east of Pune, east of that line of Mutha river is Eastern Pune. Everything is west. And then you have northwest, southwest. But now anything beyond that, like once you get to Mohammadwadi and you start going towards Loni Karbor and Hadapsar and those areas, that's all Dushkari, drought prone. Okay, and it's known, like in geography we are taught. So the thing is that what we are saying is just be sensitive to that. You know, you need to get the water line. So another thing is get the water lines done before. See, if we, when we as planners now, how we develop, how we ideally would have done it, we open up areas to construction by first making the plan, then laying out all your roads and important lines, service lines and stuff like, and then saying that हमारे पास अभी whatever 150 hectare construction के लिए जगह है.
I think they were trying something to do on a similar lines under Smart City PMRDA. I don't remember exactly what.
They are. Actually, PMRDA is doing TP schemes now.
TP schemes.
So we are very happy for that. Okay, and Sharad Mahajan, who I actually mentioned before,
the formation
did some TP scheme.
PMRDA का formation हुआ था TP scheme को execute करने के लिए.
नहीं. PMRDA was formed, and it was a very good thing that was formed. So Pune Metropolitan Regional Development Authority. So Pune Metropolitan Regional Development Authority oversees a humongous swath of land, which include almost all of Murshi, almost all of Mawar, which includes Lonavala, Tarega, all of that, Chakan, all of that, PCMC, Pune City, parts of Bhor, parts of Velle. So it's a huge swath of land, and they are an authority. So they are in charge of regulating the development of that region. But because it's a regional, and I'm the regional planner actually. So there's again another thing. Urban planner, regional planner. So regional planners they look at that entire region, not just a city. And I think most urban planners completely appreciate that importance of that broad macro and micro linkage. And there are a lot of interdependencies. Most of your migration happens from rural areas. Many people, it's not very obvious, but these are the things. So most of the population that comes all of us have come from some gaon at the end of the day, right? So the thing is that now in PMRDA, what they've done is they are regulating the development, and under the PM. So it was not developed to make town planning schemes. Actually, the idea of town planning scheme is very recent in the sense of for PMRDA to implement. They came up with that about, I think, 5, 6, 7 years ago. PMRDA as an idea has been going on for a long time, maybe 20 years. I don't remember when it was legislated. So it's a legislated body.
Okay.
Right. And so it's like a proper body, government body. So
PMRDA can have their own DP plan.
They can have their own DP plan, but they have to follow the universal DCR. Right?
Understood.
And other than that, what they're doing is, so luckily they're not doing a DP. That's a whole another can of worms. DP versus town planning scheme versus whatever. So, but very simply, yes, PMRDA has the authority to create its own plans, and it does. And all it needs to do now is, what we are proposing to them is just make sure you protect our natural resources, which is hills, rivers. There is a whole different field known as river management and watershed management, and those watersheds are extremely important. All your water logging or flooding jo bolte, those problems happen when you don't manage the watersheds. River is the lifeblood of the city. Pani is extremely important. So managing those watersheds, ensuring that watershed is healthy, groundwater reserves are taken care of. So all of that needs to be done. The irrigation department is in charge of that. So there is a lot of interdepartmental coordination.
What surprises me most is that we are trying to find water on Mars. और यहाँ पर है उसको प्रिजर्व नहीं करते.
यहाँ पर है इसे प्रिजर्व नहीं करते. हमने एक कैलकुलेशन किया था ऐसे ही मजाक में. We said पुणे डिस्ट्रिक्ट की लैंड एरिया कितनी है और
Do you have a number?
Not readily.
Okay.
People will kill me if I give the wrong answer. So, Pune district की land area कितनी है और you just multiply that with Pune district का rainfall कितना है, वो centimeters में होता है. Then you can convert that to liters and you will figure out how much you get, and it is huge. We have enough water falling in one rain that can provide us, the whole population, with water for 100 years. Just that one rain every year.
One rain every year. Average.
So if you do, I'm saying all of Pune district's land area into whatever inches or centimeters of water you get in that measure, that gives you total liters, and that will give you, and you divide that by 135 liters per person per day, which is that norm. Now I think it changed to 145, but it's roughly the same thing. Do 150, do 150 liters per person per day, and that whole amount of water that you get, if you calculated total area of Pune district into number of inches of rainfall average for Pune district, you are going to get 100 years of water in that one rainfall. Okay, so water harvesting is also another big thing that needs to be done. And of course,
I think around 2014, I don't remember the year exactly, जहाँ पे PMC ने projects को rainwater harvesting compulsory किया,
which is very good. So that's what I'm saying. This is another thing that people do. They complain about the government a lot. Okay, so one challenge for the government that I was talking about was when people say that plan अच्छा नहीं करते वगैरह. I had mentioned that last time कि भाई वो they are all civil engineers. Some have planning expertise, but you need a planner also on board, right? And you need a proper team.
ऐसा भी क्यों होता है कि किसी लोकेशन का डीपी फाइनल हो जाता है, हाँ, एंड बाद में कैंसिल हो जाता है. So I'll give you one great analogy or example. I spoke to some marketing guy and he said कि you follow the government DP plan. अब अगर DP cancel हो गया, so I am into real estate, I sell real estate. I tell people कि यहाँ पे 100 मीटर का, 60 मीटर का, 30 मीटर का रोड आने वाला है, तो इसका पोटेंशियल बहुत ज्यादा है. एंड सडनली मुझे 6 महीने बाद मुझे मालूम पड़ता है कि डीपी कैंसिल हो गया.
हाँ, तो that's rare.
But it happens.
It happens for big. I mean, those circumstances are very rare because एक बार DP का process जो है, passing का process जो है, वो बहुत लंबा है. There are enough chances given to citizens to raise their objections and suggestions.
They are
ऑब्जेक्शन एंड सजेशंस का प्रोसेस होता है.
किसको दिया था? सिटीजंस को दिया था.
सिटीजंस को होना ही चाहिए क्योंकि तो आपका प्लॉट चेंज होने वाला है. It's your plot that's going to get R, residential, yellow, all that color of the land use. It's going to be somebody owns that plot. Na?
Somebody owns that plot.
So at the end of the day, you have to give them a chance to object to it. नहीं, मुझे नहीं चाहिए. And land use changes the economics of their life so much. Na? If you make my land commercial, I might get really happy. Okay, रास्ते पे जाके मैं नाचूंगा. And if you make my plot
garden
reservation, which is a very nice, pleasant thing, but I'm not going to make any money out of that, right? So the thing is that there are, and you are playing with people's lives in that sense. And money and futures. And futures. So what happens is, so you have to be just. So it's a very just system. Maharashtra Regional and Town Planning Act, right, stipulates a whole process of डीपी कितने महीने में होना चाहिए, उसके बाद डीपी होने के बाद कितने महीने के लिए आपको यू गिवन सम टाइम टू ऑब्जेक्ट एंड गिव योर सजेशंस आल्सो. सो बिफोर इट वाज 90 days, they brought down that time. I suspect, which is not good. It is not good. And so the idea is you're given, ideally, I mean the old, I think they have amended it, but ideally it was 90 days. Okay, so you had 3 months to literally study your case, go to somebody, consult them, get advice, and then present your problem with the DP. Then what happens is then the DP goes through hearings. So all these people who objected to that current land use change, they are heard, and there is a recording session. Actually, there are video cameras and stuff, so that there is transparency, and they can even demand that video. कि मैं जब आया था तब का वीडियो दिखाओ. So then they will explain कि ये प्रॉब्लम है, वो प्रॉब्लम है, etc. There is a committee that is supposed to hear them. Then they hear them, and they, that committee will be made up of elected representatives, some subject matter experts, etc., etc. See, in India we have a very nice system actually. The problem is people don't follow it to the T, right? And most people don't know that this is there. So that is extremely important, right? So then after that, then that committee will come up with their final ruling. Usually they say that if you have a 15% change in the DP, so you had the DP and you had so many lakh crore acres, not acre, it won't be that much, but whatever, you have so many acres. If there's a 15% change in the land use or something, so 15% change in the DP, it has to be done again. And the government is given 6 months more to do it.
90 days plus 180 days.
Plus the days for the committee to also think about kya karna hai. So I think the committee gets 2 months. Aisa hai, we'll check the MRNDP. I don't remember exactly. But there are these stages, right? And then that DP is again made, like there's a new DP made. So this is the possibility where a DP can be cancelled. Okay. So if it is cancelled, that means it cannot be passed. So it is known as the draft development plan.
Okay.
So there is ideally no development plan can be cancelled unless there has been some major gafla in that original DP. Okay, so if you're saying the DP got cancelled, there was some major gafla in that original DP, and that's why it got.
We have heard about some of the other location का DP cancel हो गया, ये हो गया, वो.
Exactly, but वो cancel होना जो है, I mean, it's rare or it should be rare because इतना बड़ा process है, or it's due process, it is constitutional, it's proper, and I mean, there has to be some naughtiness happening if that DP is cancelled. See, sadly, what happens is now most DPs are influenced, and then there is other influence that comes, and then it can get cancelled because then a new influence comes and it says no, हमें ये नहीं चाहिए. So that's possible.
What can a citizen do other than voting and complaining?
Okay, first of all, we are a democratic country.
Yes.
Idea of a democracy in a nutshell is that you will vote for somebody, and then they will be your representatives in government. So they will have a chance to sit at an assembly, which can be a general body in a city or a Vidhan Sabha in a state or a Lok Sabha in a country. And the idea is that they will speak on your behalf. That's why you vote them. That is the main reason we vote people. That person is my representative. And मेरे side से वो बोलेगा.
जनता का प्रतिनिधि.
तो प्रतिनिधि यानी, but the thing is कि मेरे साइड से अगर वो बोलने वाला है तो उसे पता तो होना चाहिए मेरा साइड क्या है. Okay, and it's not easy. I think in Pune for the wards, for the electoral wards, I think there are like 1.5 lakh people per ward or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 80,000 before and now they've doubled it. So it's like 1.5 lakh. Okay. So then that person should, have feedback from 1.5 lakh people. Maybe not all 1.5 lakh. Chalo, there'll be old people, there'll be little children, stuff like that. But say, chalo, 1 lakh people, so like 66% of that population should be giving that elected representative some feedback. So one big gap is, and that's what I'm working on with my team, is we are creating a platform for citizens to not complain. See, this is also another perspective that citizens think that कि वो complain करने वाले. What? Why? Why do you want to complain? Okay, you are building this city together with these representatives and the government and the not just elected but also the people who are executing things, right? The executive. So the thing is that all of you are actually part of the same team. And एकामेका सहाय्य करू अवघे धरू सुपंथ. Right? So the idea is that help each other. So what we are saying is that so the platform what we are trying to push is you put up your problems, your needs, right? And your needs don't like encompass मेरे को ट्रम्प ने अच्छा लगता तो वो क्यों इलेक्ट हुआ अमेरिका में. That's not your concern, right? और दिल्ली में क्या हो रहा है? That's not my concern. My concern is कि मेरे मोहल्ले में क्या हो रहा है, क्या नहीं हो रहा है, and what I'm concerned about. Right, and that you can take to your elected representative.
What one should be concerned about?
So one could be concerned about safety, very obvious. Then you can be concerned about walkability. Everybody should be concerned about walkability. So then, or you can be concerned about water supply, pani purota. You can be concerned about sanitation. Now, sanitation का भी problem क्या है बता दो. I'm sorry, like I'm going to become very unpopular because of this. But कचरा कौन करता है?
I was about to say कि प्लीज इसको हिंदी में बोलना.
हाँ, कचरा कौन करता है? गवर्नमेंट नहीं करता. गवर्नमेंट बाहर 1 घंटा गाड़ी लेके बाहर ऐसे हर रात को कचरा फेंकते ऐसे नहीं जाते ना. कचरा कौन करता है? हम करते. हाँ, सो और गवर्नमेंट वो माँ है जो कमरे में बच्चों ने कचरा किया है वो सब पिकअप करके अच्छी तरह से रखती है, नहीं तो फेंक देती है. Okay,
very good.
This is what is happening, right?
Very good.
So there is also a responsibility on the citizens. That's what I'm getting to. One responsibility is the citizen कि okay, मैं civil हूँ, मैं पढ़ा लिखा हूँ, so I should have that much sense not to do kachra in my mohalla. It's like you're throwing kachra in your own house. Same kind.
घर साफ रख रहे बाहर जाके फेंक.
Exactly. Okay, so ये पहली बात. Second thing is you can have a peaceful relationship with your corporator. because that corporator is on your behalf. You've given them a vote, or somebody next door has given them a vote, but now they are now in charge of taking care of your mohalla. So make friends. They are not some alien. They are not Angrez. They are not, they understand whatever. They normally live in the same area. If they don't live in the same area, Baba, that's the problem. That's your problem, because then you voted for them. Okay, but the point is that there are people. So my suggestion is that you should be able to have a discussion with the corporator. It should not be in a darbar. Stop creating darbars, according to me. Right? You are a self-respecting, mature citizen. Okay, सब खुद के घर में खुद को प्रॉपरली मच्योर समझते हैं, तो बच्चे नहीं हैं, तो कॉर्पोरेटर के साथ भी एक मच्योर अडल्ट जैसे बोलो. डोंट डू द होल माई बाप सरकार और हमारे यहाँ क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा. बी वेरी काम, बी फ्रेंडली एंड से कि प्लीज हेल्प अस आउट. ओके, आप हमारे प्रतिनिधि हो एंड प्लीज हेल्प अस आउट, और ये हमारे मुद्दे हैं. Give mudde in writing. That's the platform I'm doing. I want to collect mudde in writing. Okay. The third thing you can do is go to your ward office. Okay. Everybody should go to their ward office. Get comfortable in your ward office. Okay. It is your ward office. So being comfortable in the ward office is extremely important, right? Go to each department, and this is a one-time thing. Just go to each department, say hi. मैं इधर का हूँ, मैं इधर रहता हूँ, और अच्छा काम कर रहे हो. Okay, so that ward per,
that thank you wala thing.
Yeah, that thank you wala thing, and the ward officer also feels कि okay, I know this person.
मुन्ना भाई का जो है, तुम क्या काम करते मकसूद भाई.
हाँ, exactly. No, but seriously, it's important. Yeah. Okay, because
so I was looking at some survey where Indian population or Indian mentality has either empathy or panic. आपके ऊपर रेटिंग भी हम या तो 1 करेंगे या तो 5 देंगे. There is nothing in the between.
बीच में कुछ नहीं. और ये साला, there is always a मालिक नौकर का relationship, okay, in all interactions, which is stupid according to me, right? We are all equal, we are all on the same page, everybody is doing some function in their lives, okay, and everybody is getting paid or not paid for it, whoever, like, I don't know, but the point is that you should have we are working together kind of we are one team kind of an attitude towards this, right? Fourth thing that you can do, there is something, now this is more proactive, so this is a bit tougher to do, but you can do it. Now there is a 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, also known as 74th CAA, okay, Constitutional Amendment Act. And now in this 74th, so like in the Gram Panchayat system, rural गांव में जो होता है, that's a panchayat system, that is 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act. This is 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Under the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, you are supposed to, now it's not law in Maharashtra, in many states we are a federal government. So the center might say something, it doesn't mean the states have to listen, but you can do this, and there are existing mohalla committees. So you can join a mohalla committee. Okay, but then again, don't be that person who is screaming, मेरे लिए ये मेरा कुछ नहीं हुआ, ये क्या वो क्या. And this is, you are not some, like, this is a very sad thing, but everybody likes screaming also. Okay, everybody starts yelling and stuff. Be mature, be calm, be like a leader, and just say, ki, these are my mudde, I would like you. So the mohalla committee actually is responsible, not by God or the government. They've taken the responsibility on themselves. So they're doing you a favor, and they're being nice, and they are saying कि हम आपके जो मुद्दे हैं, we'll take them together, and हम वो हमारे प्रतिनिधि के पास, नहीं तो इवन द क्या बोलते हैं वार्ड ऑफिसर के पास हम लेके जाएंगे. Okay, so the thing is, so you can even join a mohalla committee. If you don't have a mohalla committee, you can form a mohalla committee. There is also something known as association of citizens, which is a legal body that you can form. Okay, and you can bring all the citizens from your mohalla together, and you can actually start creating a list of problems that you have. I feel that having a paper trail, okay, so that means email bhejo, newspaper ko patra likho, okay, do something on paper, take the effort to write something, don't just yell things out, right? If you want, take a video, but again, don't take a video, वो होता है ना, ये देखो ये कितना गंदा है सब, ये देखो मैं इधर आया था परसों ऐसे ही था, don't do that. I
mean, don't do it for Twitter likes.
Bus, okay, just be mature and say that, okay, these are the problems, these are the issues, this is the date, I'll tell you why paper trail is important. First, proof रहता है कि मैंने ये दिखाया. Okay, दूसरा क्या होता है, what was the तारीख. Okay, because then I can say कि मैंने 10 तारीख पे दिया. अब whatever.
15 तारीख हो गई, 18
हाँ नहीं 50 दिन हो गए. Okay, आपने कुछ नहीं किया. Then you can start getting a bit कि not aggressive, but you can start questioning कि भाई क्या हुआ. Right.
I am doing one podcast with a similar association or committee or whatever you call it. There's a committee called Team Swachh Kalyani Nagar.
Nice.
60 odd societies have come together and they have found this. They go out, they reward the corporation guys, they award some corporation guys, they bring them, appreciate them, and they said कि I mean there's कोई पॉइंट ही नहीं कि मैं इसको जाके कंप्लेन करूं, उसको जब मैं रिवॉर्ड करता हूं तो अपने आप वो काम करता है.
परफेक्ट. So that's the thing. So there is also कल्याणी नगर के ही लोग हैं, ये टीम स्वच्छ के भी लोग होंगे. It's known as National Society for Clean Cities, NSCC. Okay. So there's a lot of people in Kalyani. Actually, Kalyani Nagar is one of the most.
So the idea of that
active
podcast is to show their work, how they are managing it, and urge other neighborhoods that even you start this.
And they can replicate it.
Replicate it.
They can go to them and say कि भाई आप कैसे कर रहे हैं.
Yes.
Okay. So and that's the thing. So एक बड़ा barrier जो है ना, normally जो मोहल्ले जिधर there are people who are poorer, they don't have the confidence to go and talk to government people and stuff like that.
We make them very big in our head.
Exactly. So I think they should get confidence. उन्हें confidence आना चाहिए. और वो confidence जो है ना, वो ऐसा filmy confidence की जरूरत नहीं है. Like अब मैं जाऊंगा, just be calm, be confident, right? And just go up to somebody, say कि मेरे ये मुद्दे हैं, I need this solved, and they will normally give you receipt. Oh, by the way,
मेरे सोसाइटी में अगर पानी नहीं आ रहा है, तो मैं मेरे सोसाइटी के सेक्रेटरी चेयरमैन से जैसा बात करता हूँ वैसे ही जाके अपने
बस उतना ही करना है. ओके. और हम जो प्लेटफॉर्म शुरू कर रहे हैं, देयर इज अ रीजन फॉर दैट, बिकॉज इन लोगों को वॉइस नहीं होता. वी आर सेइंग दैट ओके चलो आप लिख दो, ओके, एनोनिमस होना है, एनोनिमस हो जाओ. ओके, क्योंकि घबराने की भी बात नहीं है भाई. आपको पानी नहीं आ रहा ना, घबरा क्यों रहे? Right, you're spending, and by the way, if they think they're not paying taxes, they're paying taxes. Everything they buy, they're paying some tax on it.
Everybody is.
So like it's your right. Get it done. So this is how I think citizens can really go through this. One is very quickly to revise. One is they can go to their corporator and talk to them like that person is their bada bhai. Okay. Two is they can go to the government itself, in the sense to their ward office and talk to the ward officer. That ward officer's job is seva of the ward and administration of the ward. So they can go, but be nice. And 3 is they can create their own mohalla committee. And 4 is they can go to the newspapers and write to various entities. And 2 important things: be nice, be compassionate. And the second thing is write everything down, have a date, and take a receipt. Wherever you provide a letter, whatever, email is best. Because it always has everything's there.
Trail.
Right? And done.
अगर कोर्स करेक्ट नहीं होता है, what does Pune look like in 2035? 10 साल में पुणे कैसा होगा?
I hate to say it on behalf of Dharavi. But yes. Okay, I won't say Dharavi. It will be worse. And I'll tell you why. Because it will be bigger buildings, taller buildings, more traffic on the streets, no water.
Dharavi, you mean slum or?
No, Dharavi, I mean density. I mean the hectic, the congestion of Dharavi. So slum to hai, but Dharavi is also built up. There are buildings in Dharavi also. But when you see, I mean, I'm sorry to say, like I like Bombay, I like Mumbai. I'll say both because I believe in both names. But like when we drive through Mumbai, sorry, Mumbai people, sorry. But it's like very crowded, it's very hectic, and people call it the spirit of Bombay or whatever. I hope that's not what they call the spirit of Bombay. That is not dull, but it's not dull meaning, there's millions of people trying to live and trying to exist and make money, and that's why that's happening. Pune luckily does not have that level of desperation. But what I'm trying to say is visually, morphologically, how it will look. Like, how will Pune look if we go crazy on just mindless construction? I'm again saying mindless. I want construction, but not mindless construction. So the thing is that your densities will go up. It started happening. Now you're getting tall buildings. Now we are just seeing 1 or 2 tall buildings in every mohalla. Once it starts getting to 50, 60, 70, 100 tall buildings, then it's a whole different...
It has already started. I think Pune has a lot of 100-meter towers.
Yes, and it's getting
And we
scary.
are competing to go 130, 140 now.
Yeah, what are you...
Being into real estate, I sell those towers.
Yeah. But wouldn't you prefer, like, okay, okay, on a numbers game, you'll prefer doing that. But in the sense, volumes. But actually, I mean, if I was selling a house, I would like to sell a jazzy house. Like a really nice, beautiful house. Right, done up well.
A nice, beautiful house. The higher, the better in Pune. And even Pune Municipal Corporation is charging extra premium on the higher floors.
Yeah. So now this is a problem. TK, you're taking some compensation in terms of money, but the compensation is just money. Is
that compensation or revenue?
I mean, it's revenue, but they're calling it compensation.
Okay.
In their hearts. And the thing is that, but at the end of the day, you're talking about hundreds of high-rise buildings, congesting your skyline. You can't look up at the sky without seeing a building. Of course, we've not worked out how the wiring happens on top of the building scene. So then you'll see thousands of... Take a ride on the metro. You'll see all the wires on top of the buildings, right? So that's another problem. So the thing is that you are going to get a nice Gitchmid traffic problem, no water supply, stinking a bit because the drainage lines will be overpowered by the amount of shit created, right? For those hundreds of, thousands of households that will be entering a place where it's not supposed to happen. I want to challenge the PMC on this. Do we have the maps for all the drainage lines? And if we do, please email them to Salman. Then you can email them to me. Planners. We as planners want to see them.
I'll leave your credentials in the description.
Don't. Please don't. I don't want to get hate mails. No, but seriously, but see, the thing is, so we are talking about a very ugly picture, not conducive to our children, right? I was not brought up in this dense level scene, right? It was very nice. Pune was amazing, like in that sense. So I'm not saying कि हमारे, हम जब थे छोटे, तब, I'm not talking about that. What I'm trying to say is that very simply on a humane habitat. Okay, there is a professor Akhtar Chauhan. Okay, he was in charge of Rizvi College of Architecture in Bandra. He is one of my gurus, and he started something known as humane habitat, and I completely believe in that. So I think where it comes to humane habitat, that means habitat for humans. So high rise. Now, even if you look at, I'm telling you, even if you go to America, where New York will have high rises, the rest of the cities don't have so many tall buildings.
So right? Manhattan is known for high rises.
Yeah, but that's Manhattan. That's it. Right? Shanghai. That's it. The other buildings follow this very typical structure. There'll be a central business district with high rises, which are business buildings. And then everything else is suburbia. Now, the problem with suburbia is you get sprawl. You get urban sprawl. So we are saying don't do sprawl. That means bangla. You do some medium level thing. Go 7 stories. Go on. Paris has a rule. You cannot go beyond a particular height. Keep that rule. Decide on a rule, because then the scale remains. So there's also something known as human scale. Like, you don't get overpowered by these hundreds of tall buildings. So this whole experience of living in Pune will be very weird, is according to me. That is what will happen.
And let's say if we get it right and citizens get involved, we have our priority. What will Pune look in 10 years?
I think Pune will look amazing. Pune will be one of the most livable cities in the world, according to me. What standard am I using? I'm not using standard of life. I'm using quality of life. So there is a difference. Money can only buy you so much. Example, Bombay. Okay, you have, again, I'm very sorry for the slum dwellers, but they exist and they have to live that way.
Even Pune has a slum block.
No, but I'm saying, it's very sad that people have to live in these conditions. But this is what you get in Bombay. You'll get high standard of living, Amir log, surrounded by slums. Okay.
Disparity.
Yeah. And that disparities, that means every day when you walk out of home, you can see the slums. Okay. You can see somebody defecating on the road. You can see the whole thing. So the thing is that what you're calling a high standard of living? कि मैं खरीद सकता हूँ इसलिए मैं बहुत एकदम great हो गया. No, you want a good quality of life. You need not have that much money, as long as you have a beautiful neighborhood, it's green, there are trees, shaded pathways, your children can run around, and I'm saying for slums as well. I am not saying this only for people who can afford, these big houses and stuff like that. Slums is a very inhuman way of making people live, right? And sadly, they are doing it out of their own volition because they don't have the money to buy a place, right? So this is another thing. I mean, share actually garibi nahi pachata. This is a very weird idea that people have. There is a lot of also unemployment in slums, right? So there is also a rural problem that we are dealing with, because all these people are migrating with the hope, asha, of having a great life. And then they are forced to live in these conditions, right? So my thing is that in general, if you said that if everything happened well, there's a course correction. What is the course correction? Don't go to high rise. Ensure there are enough green spaces. I'll tell you, land values go up. I mean, if everybody's concerned about land values, you tell me, Koregaon Park, Deccan Gymkhana, okay, have the highest land values. Why? I mean, and then why? I mean, there's a correlation. I'm not saying it has to be the rule. For some reason, Koregaon Park and Deccan Gymkhana also have the highest number of tree canopy.
Yes.
Right? They have well planned out, like North Main Road, South Main Road, and the gullies.
The grid you were talking about.
So they have a grid. There's something going on here. I don't know what. Right? As a planner, I know what, but I'm just saying, okay, kya ho raha hai? So if you think about it, if you just go to the best looking parts of Pune city, replicate their plan. Okay, replicate not the now density, pehle ka density, or maybe even the 90s ka density. Okay, where you went a bit up, but not too much. Okay, you will still get a very beautiful city. The problem is when you start going crazy, like I said, it's not like the seasons. People will keep building and then, people will keep coming and staying. At one point, people will not be able to afford your houses. Okay, and I don't know why the PMC guys are not really imagining this. I don't know why economists, and we have renowned economists in Pune, I don't know why they are not reporting on this. I don't know why there is no study on this. If there is, please let me know. I would be interested in looking at this because it is intriguing to see the level of development. I mean, again, we're calling construction development. No, development is different. Construction is construction, right? It becomes development if you have all these elements, which is you have opportunities for livelihoods. That means jobs, well-paying jobs. Everybody deserves good-paying jobs. Plus, you have very nice, walkable, what we mentioned the other time, 15-minute city type things where you have the facilities, services, transport, you have a nice green canopies. So we have very hot summer, so you are protected from that. It's safe for children, people with disabilities and old people. Your rivers are properly buffered from pollution. So you have maybe a 50-meter buffer on either side of the river where you can't construct like a no development zone.
There is a red line, blue line concept.
Red line, blue line is a very different can of worms. It will take us another 3 hours to talk about that. Because red line, blue line is actually flood lines. They are not the river's banks.
We'll do a separate video.
We'll do a separate thing on that. If you have a city that can follow certain ecological rules to protect your ecology. Tekadis, nobody's talking about Tekadis. So Pune is surrounded by hills. I have been climbing the Tekadis continuously. In fact, today I want this whole thing to end on time because I might go to the Tekadi,
yes.
Right? So the thing is that for, I think everybody, it should be made a culture, a lifestyle. You don't have to have hills, you can have other things. See, nobody knows. Pune has some nice community swimming pools. Do you know this? There are a lot of community swimming pools where people actually go and swim. They're made, they're maintained, they're kept, but nobody knows that. Okay, so we have facilities and services. We just need to increase them for the population to be able to avail of them.
Yes. And if one does not need or does not use the facility which is provided, government बंद कर देगी एक point पे.
बस, simple. Okay.
But data आएगा कि हमने बनाया था, किसी ने use नहीं किया. It was waste of time, money, energy. हमने बंद कर दिया.
SORRE. Right. So, sorry.
Achha.
So,
I went with the why.
Okay. So, no. So your ideal place does not have to be hi-fi. Okay. It did not have Starbucks all over. right? It does not have to be some prototype idea. It can be a nice.
Again, the Starbucks analogy is not Indian.
Exactly.
मतलब Starbucks जहाँ जाते हैं property के value बढ़ जाते हैं, that is Europe, that is America.
Yeah.
It is not Indian.
No, and why? Like, I mean, what the hell? Like, what I'm not getting is even business sense now, most people will not be able to spend at Starbucks anyway. So the thing is that we are just talking about a completely different, aspiration. Is good to have aspiration up to a point. Okay. But it should be your aspiration, like as you, not somebody else's aspiration that you're copying. Don't be wannabe of wannabes.
मेरा शौक होना चाहिए. सिद्धार्थ का शौक मेरा शौक नहीं होना.
Exactly. So I think that is a very important consideration. I think the thing is that Pune, with our history, with our historical buildings, luckily, we are still not overboard. We have not gone overboard. Okay, so I think if the government corrects the course in giving height permissions correctly, and okay, I'll tell you one last thing, right? Very important. Your traffic is completely dependent on land use and density. If you have high residential, high density, how many cars will come out of this?
I have no data.
No, imagine if you just had a high residential.
I don't have any.
No mention?
No imagination.
Okay.
So I take 50 minutes to drive from Baner to Koregaon Park.
Yeah.
Last week or 2-3 days back, I took 45 minutes only on the University Circle. So I have no data, no imagination. It is very normalized with me. मुझे आदत हो गई है traffic.
Okay, let me paint a picture for you. If you have, we dealt with this yesterday also, but I'll deal with this with a different area. Chalo. Okay, let's look at Kothurud. Okay, now Kothurud, the whole area of Kothurud. Okay, we are talking about Karve Nagar, this, that. Okay, or imagine even the city, inner city, Pates, wherever in Pune. This is, everybody can go do this exercise in their brains. Look at the traffic you have today. Look at the building sizes that you have today. We all know traffic has increased across the board everywhere. Now imagine if that doubles. Your building density is what defines how much traffic goes out of that place. So you're doubling the traffic. If you double the building, you double the traffic. If you make it 5 times, you are making the traffic 5 times. Use it as a rule. So suddenly, what traffic you're facing now imagine 5 times that much traffic. It's unimaginable because you're going to be in gridlock. You're going to be stuck. That's what will happen. And that's why if you deal with that, now why is Hinjawadi in such a big problem? Bottlenecks. Why? Because there's one main road that actually you can enter with. And the cars, that was another issue I was talking about, that the more vehicles you sell, you can widen the road all you want.
It is not, see, if I am working in Hinjawadi, staying somewhere else, I don't have a public transport.
Oh, that's happening.
Metro should have started from Hinjawadi.
Correct. But now it's there. It's happening.
It is there. Yeah. I didn't have the public transport. That is why I'm taking my personal vehicle.
Yeah. No.
So, मैं जो travel 20 minutes में कर सकता हूँ, I have no desire to travel for 2 hours.
You're right.
On the same day. मेरे पास infrastructure नहीं था.
हाँ, अब है, अब आने वाला है, यानी आ जाएगा. मेरे हिसाब से 1 साल में आ जाएगा. वो बोल रहे हैं कि उसके पहले आएगा, but I think 1 साल लगेगा. Alright, so now the thing is that, but even that bottleneck, what's happening is you're taking a huge volume of traffic, pushing it to Hinjawadi. So we in planning call this the origin and we call this the destination. So Hinjawadi is pure offices and like work, and this is pure house, right? And so if you move, so you will also notice this. I mean, again, this is a very obvious thing that in the morning, most of the traffic is going in one direction, and in the evening, most of it is coming in the other. So that is actually the mechanics of land use planning and density control. So when you give one particular land use, residential, there'll be a lot of cars going towards that in the evening, and a lot of cars coming out of that in the cars, bikes, whatever, coming out of that in the morning.
Vehicles.
Yeah. So it's predictive. By the way, you can predict it, especially if you know like general populations and stuff like that. Because in India, under the census, there are actually studies done, or even national sample survey and stuff, that they do studies that how many cars per family, how many cars per bikes per family. So there are such studies. So you can actually make a mathematical, very interesting Excel sheet pe, nahi to notebook pe. You can make a model.
Excel sheet aa
gaya. So
90s mein nahi tha.
So you can make a model and you can predict how many cars will move through this. Another big problem which needs to be corrected. We don't do traffic counts. We don't have traffic count data for every road. We need it. So that is another need.
So we have come to the rapid fire round. Quick questions for you. Metro versus private vehicles.
Metro.
Navi Mumbai Airport versus Purandar Airport.
Purandar, it's closer to me.
So can I call this pregnant pause?
Yes.
Smart city versus sustainable city.
Sustainable city.
Vertical expansion versus urban spread.
Beachman.
Okay. Balance.
Balanced growth.
IT parks versus industrial clusters.
For Pune, IT parks.
Okay. Affordable housing versus eco-friendly buildings.
Both. Ek saath.
Slum redevelopment versus slum relocation.
Slum redevelopment in most cases because they have built their lives in that area. Their kids have been born in that area. Their connections are there in those areas. So if you relocate, you are ripping those connections away.
That sense of belonging is going away. Ring road versus expressways.
Ring road. Expressway शहर के बाहर होता है.
नहीं, हमारा शहर एक्सप्रेस
बाहर जा रहा है.
हमारा शहर एक्सप्रेस तक चला गया.
हमारा शहर बाहर गया है. इतना कंजेशन है ना, शहर ही बाहर गया है. हाँ.
Okay, we have come to an end.
Hey.
Thank you for coming again the next day.
Yes, beautiful. It was great fun, and I hope it helps.
I hope it helps.
Yes.
Thank you. Chalo.